warned this video will contain spoilers. In The Old Man Season 2, Episode 4, we're brought deeper into the web of Middle Eastern espionage, revealing layers of unlikely alliances, secret parentage, and the tangled relationships between characters who are being pushed to their limits. The revelation that Emily, who now goes by Parwana, is the biological daughter of Faraz Hamzad throws a new spin on the plot, especially after the explosive ending of Episode 3. Parwana's world has shifted, and now, surrounded by the aftermath of a deadly battle, she knows they have only 72 hours before Taliban reinforcements arrive, adding a ticking clock to an already intense situation. Morgan Boke's decision to impose sanctions on Hamzad complicates everything further. With Hamzad's assets frozen, his political power is collapsing, leaving him vulnerable and outmatched. Emily knows they are in a critical situation, which leads her to make a bold request of Dan Chase and Harold Harper, pushing the story forward in an unexpected and compelling direction. This episode dives into the complexity of cultural identity and paternal love, all wrapped within the tension of a political thriller, which is why it feels so impactful. What makes The Old Man stand out isn't just the plot twists, but the performances by Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow. Their chemistry drives this episode and holds everything together. The way Chase and Harper interact creates an emotional depth, even as they stand on the edge of Hamzad's compound, waiting for Parwana, who holds so much significance to them both. Despite their shared toughness, Chase and Harper are different in their core identities. Chase, as a brute force, carries the weight of a violent past that haunts him, while Harper, more politically shrewd, plays the game through layers of manipulation and plausible deniability. Both men hide behind their methods of coping, but in this episode, they're forced to confront emotional truths that neither is ready for. Parwana, in many ways, becomes the bridge between these two men. She's not just their emotional connection. She's the embodiment of the question both are grappling with: what does it mean to be a parent? For Chase, the issue of fatherhood is deeply rooted in years of secrecy, and he's facing the consequences of keeping Emily's true identity hidden. Harper, meanwhile, is navigating his own path as a surrogate father to Henry. These relationships force both men to reevaluate their roles, adding complexity to the loyalty that keeps recurring throughout the episode. How far does loyalty go when it's not just about political ties but about family? The tension is palpable. Harper and Chase dig deeper into Morgan's corruption, testing the limits of their loyalties and responsibilities. Parental ties are strained as both men are asked to make unimaginable sacrifices. It raises deep questions about the limits of parental duty. How much are they willing to risk, and at what cost? At the heart of the episode is the struggle of separating one's role as a parent from their identity. For Dan Chase, this is an impossible task. Flashbacks offer a glimpse into his past, revealing his inner turmoil. He wanted to leave behind the violence that defined him, seeing Bellar as his way out, even though she was married to Hamzad, a warlord. Chase's desire to escape his past through his relationship with Bellar is a driving force behind his protectiveness over Emily, making his bond with her inseparable from his past mistakes. It's that unbreakable connection that makes Chase's internal conflict so raw and human. Faraz Hamzad, on the other hand, sees Parwana as both a reminder of his wrong choices and a symbol of redemption. Emily is the living consequence of his actions, and her presence forces him to confront the decisions that shaped his life. When he reunites with Chase, it's a moment of both resolution and catharsis. They're no longer just enemies. They're men bound by their shared experience of fatherhood. Through Parwana, they find a common ground, despite their cultural differences. Meanwhile, Morgan Boke continues to manipulate from the shadows. He's the puppet master pulling strings, even threatening Parwana's life to exert control. His influence over Harper and Chase remains strong, and his decisions keep both men bound to the rules of power they've built their lives around. It's a haunting reminder that no matter how much they've sacrificed, they're still at the mercy of choices made long ago. The ending of Episode 4 is where things really hit hard. The sudden entrance of Lieutenant Pavliovic in the last 5 minutes changes everything. With Zoe hiding behind a desk, Morgan meets a brutal end, and the cliffhanger leaves us wondering what comes next. Harper and Chase are running out of time, with the Taliban forces closing in, and the emotional tension hits its peak. This episode proves that Harper and Chase are far from safe, and even with key players like Faraz and Morgan taken out of the picture, the real danger is just beginning. Dan Chase still has a long way to go to confront his past, not just as a spy but as a father. Parwana's journey of self-discovery continues to push the narrative, and with more shocking twists on the horizon, there's no telling how far these characters will go to protect each other. Alia Shawkat's portrayal of Parwana in this episode is particularly powerful, capturing the emotional complexity of her character's growth. While the larger political backdrop of the season, focused on lithium deposits and government scheming, remains in play, Episode 4 thrives on the human drama. The emotional stakes are higher than ever, and the real suspense comes from how far Chase and Harper are willing to go for those they care about. What do you think? How will Dan Chase's relationship with Parwana evolve? Will Harper and Chase be able to outmaneuver the political forces closing in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into The Old Man.